now know when it is we are going to see Caitlin Clark back on a basketball court with other participants. This is going to be rather interesting because we are going to see Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers all playing together.
A training video just surfaced that absolutely nobody expected. We're talking about Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers, all practicing together at the senior national team camp for USA Basketball. As you can imagine, the internet completely lost its mind over this. Seeing these three powerhouse players on the same court for the first time in an official setting is huge, and the clips are spreading like wildfire. This is way more than just a regular practice session. It's a massive statement about where women's basketball is headed. Fans are absolutely freaking out, and they have every right to be. So I have to ask, are you more pumped to see these three team up? Or are you a little worried for the rest of the world's teams? Let me know down in the comments.
Here on ESPN, there was an article put up. Shout out to Alexa Philippou. You be on it, girl. Alexa, you be on it, girl. You be on it. Here it says, Caitlin Clark, Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, and Juju Watkins will be among the 10 players making their USA Basketball Senior National Team Camp debut.
Last week, the internet basically shattered when some footage got out showing Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers practicing side by side at the senior national team camp for USA Basketball. Now, this isn't just some casual pickup game at a local gym. What we're seeing is an official USA Basketball training event that's going down at Duke University from December 12th. The ripple effects from this are absolutely enormous, and the entire basketball world is still trying to wrap its head around what this could mean for the future of women's hoops on a global scale. So let's get into what is actually going on. USA Basketball put together a camp with the specific goal of finding players for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup. The brand new managing director, the legendary Sue Bird, has been given the job of assembling a roster that can capture a 5th consecutive World Cup gold medal. This is not your standard selection process. This is a hunt for legacy. This is an attempt to continue one of the most incredible winning streaks in the entire history of international sport.
Team. The 18 participants also include former Olympians and World Cup gold medalist Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Kalia Copper, plus 3-on-3 Olympian De'Erica Hamby. Bree Jones, a member of the 2022 World Cup team, was also named to the training camp squad, while 2023 #1 draft pick.
The lineup for this camp is basically a who's who of incredible talent, both past and present. You've got Chelsea Gray on the court, and she's bringing all of her Olympic and World Cup gold medal winning experience. Brittany Griner, who is arguably the single most dominant player in women's basketball across the globe, is also present. Kelsey Plum is there with her championship background. Jackie Young is representing the new wave of WNBA superstars. Kalia Copper, a total pro at the highest levels, is there to round out the veteran squad. The camp also features 3x3 Olympian De'Erica Hamby and Brianna Jones, who actually took home a gold medal at the 2022 World Cup. But this is the part that gets truly fascinating. This camp is also showcasing some of the most thrilling young players in the game today. Aaliyah Boston, who was the #1 draft pick in the 2023 WNBA draft, is expected to be there. Cameron Brink, Lauren Betts, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafin, Rikia Jackson, and Veronica Burton are all making their first ever appearances at a senior national team camp for USA Basketball. A bunch of these players have already secured gold medals for USA Basketball at the junior level, which really says a lot about the incredible pipeline of talent that constantly feeds the main program. Of course, the three names causing all the buzz are Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers. These three women signify something special for the sport. They are the new wave that pushed the WNBA into the mainstream spotlight. These are the athletes who turned women's basketball into appointment television. They completely changed how people watch sports and brought in whole new audiences to professional women's athletics. So the fact they're now practicing together at an official senior camp is nothing short of historic. Caitlin Clark has turned into a worldwide sensation. Her knack for scoring, Her incredible court vision and her clutch performances in high-stakes situations have made her one of the most bankable athletes in all of sports. She single-handedly dragged the WNBA into conversations it was never a part of previously. Major corporations noted, international scouts definitely noticed, and every single basketball fan on earth took notice. Whenever Clark is playing, people tune in. Angel Reese has cemented her reputation as a top-tier two-way force in the sport. Her defense is absolutely suffocating, and her skill in the post and ability to score at the rim is top class. Her competitive drive is second to none. Reese has an on-court intensity that is completely contagious and forces everyone around her to elevate their game. That's the exact type of player who captures championships at every single stage she plays on, and Paige Bueckers brings a level of versatility and skill that is just unbelievably high. Her capacity to handle multiple positions, her deadly accuracy from beyond the arc, and her playmaking skills all come together to make her one of the most well-rounded players in the entire league. Bueckers can completely dominate a game when required, but she's just as good at playing a supporting part. That kind of adaptability is priceless in international play, where teams have to adjust to a variety of opponents and strategy. The reality that these three are now training together under the official USA Basketball banner completely alters the landscape of international women's basketball for the foreseeable future. When you mix their skills, their star power, and their desire to win, you're witnessing something that could totally reshape how the entire world perceives women's basketball.
Now, we talked about the fact that Team USA, I believe it is in March, is going to play, I believe, in some qualifiers. That's probably when we're going to get to see Caitlin Clark play actual meaningful basketball again. But training camp is coming. The senior camp is coming.
And it's happening right now. The camp is being run by the freshly appointed national team head coach, Cheryl Reeve, who also happens to be the head coach for Duke University. She's also pulled in some WNBA assistant coaches, which really highlights how seriously USA Basketball is treating this entire evaluation. Natalia Petrakova, Nate Tibbetts, and Stephanie White are all part of the coaching team. These aren't just random names. They are some of the most well-regarded coaches in the sport. They're people who have a track record of developing players and running sophisticated game plans. This coaching arrangement proves that USA Basketball is tackling this World Cup cycle with the exact same focus and professionalism that has made the American women's team the gold standard for so many years. The whole point of the camp is to assess talent, create chemistry, install systems, figure out which group of players will give the United States the absolute best shot at victory.
Here's the juicy parts. The training camp will serve as an evaluation opportunity. As newly minted USA Women's National Team Managing Director Sue Bird is tasked with naming a team for 2026's FIBA World Cup in September of 2026, where the USA will go for its 5th straight World Cup gold medal. I don't know who will broadcast that, but if Caitlin...
Having those three on the teams is wild. Sue Bird, coming on as managing director, is a game changer. Bird is one of the all-time great point guards in the history of the sport. She has won multiple Olympic golds and WNBA titles. She knows exactly what it takes to perform at the absolute peak and what makes a good international squad a truly great one. Bird will demand nothing short of perfection in how this team is picked and prepared. The video going viral like it did tells us a lot about where women's basketball is right now. People are eager to see these athletes. They're invested in how they work together behind the scenes. People know that these are some of the best players in the world, and they want to see that skill on full display. The simple fact that a practice video created this much social media excitement proves how starved the basketball world is for content that features top-tier female athletes. The scheduling of this camp is also really smart. The WNBA season wraps up in November, which gives the players a very short break before they dive into their USA Basketball duties. The camp takes place in the middle of December, which is right around the holidays when more casual sports fans have extra time to watch basketball content. After that, the real test starts with qualifiers scheduled for March. If Clark, Reese, and Bueckers get chosen for those games, the television ratings could go through the roof. The international basketball schedule is relentless. You've got qualifiers in March, then the World Cup in September 2026, and there could be Olympic trials as the Paris Olympics lead into the next cycle. The calendar is absolutely packed, and the pool of talent that USA Basketball can pick from is deeper than it's been in a long, long time. The main task for Sue Bird and the coaches is to figure out which players will give the team the greatest chance to win on the world's biggest stages. But what makes this moment so special is the blend of seasoned veterans and incredible young talent. USA Basketball is not just planning for 2026, they're strategizing for the long haul. They are trying to identify which young stars can step up into major roles once the veterans of this generation eventually hang it up. Clark, Reese, and Bookers are the future foundation of international women's basketball for the USA. How they perform at this camp could decide not just the 2026 roster, but the teams for the possible Team USA roster that could have Clark, Reese, and Bookers playing alongside legends like Griner, Gray, and Plum would be a nightmare for any other country. Just think about trying to guard that mix of skill, athleticism, and basketball intelligence. You would need a flawless game plan executed with zero mistakes, and even then your chances would be incredibly slim. The competitive atmosphere at Duke right now is going to be off the chart. These are all world-class players who are there to prove they belong on the team that represents their country. Nobody is there to just waste time. They all believe they have a real shot at making that final roster. The practices are probably going to be tougher and more physical than most WNBA regular season games. That's just how it is at this level of international play. The coaching staff is taking detailed notes on absolutely everything. Who commands authority in the gym? Who makes their teammates better? Who steps up with winning plays when the pressure is on? Who responds well to setbacks and criticism? Who is in peak physical shape? Who has the basketball smarts to run complex plays on both offense and defense? All of those little things are part of the evaluation. One fascinating detail is that Juju Watkins from USC is also making her debut appearance at the senior camp. Watkins was the National Player of the Year last season, which proves that USA Basketball is casting a very wide net to find talent. Watkins is still recovering from an ACL tear back in March, so she won't be participating in any on-court drills, but just getting an invitation to watch and learn is a big deal. It shows that the organization is thinking ahead about the development pipeline, and who might be able to contribute in the future. The media attention on this camp will be massive if more videos like this keep getting out. Fans are desperate for this kind of content, and the organizations know exactly how to satisfy that demand. Behind-the-scenes clips, practice drills, scrimmages, coaching moments, all of that is content that will be shared across every social media platform. The viral explosion from seeing Clark, Reese, and Bookers together almost guarantees that more high-quality footage is going to find its way out. The impact on international women's basketball is huge. Other countries are paying close attention to this. They see who is in that gym at Duke practicing together, and they're trying to figure out what kind of team the United States is putting together. They're adjusting their own programs and development strategies in response. The whole world of international women's basketball is influenced by what USA Basketball does. Because let's be honest, the Americans have been so dominant for so long that everyone else is constantly trying to catch up. But this is also a time when the women's basketball community is seeing that these athletes deserve the exact same level of investment, resources, and attention that the men's game gets. The training camp at Duke with an elite coaching staff, the evaluation process led by a legend of Sue Bird's status, and the security and privacy to protect player development, all of it proves that women's basketball is finally being treated with the same level of professionalism as men's basketball on the international stage. The story around this video going viral is also important. It's not just about what happens on the court, it's about visibility and representation. When videos of elite female athletes training go viral, it normalizes women's sports as something worth watching and sharing. It gets the audience invested in their success. It builds excitement for what's to come. For the young girls who play basketball and see these videos, it's incredibly inspiring. They're watching Caitlin Clark go up against the best. They see Angel Reese pushing her limit. They see Paige Bookers running complex basketball plays. These young players are seeing a blueprint for their own potential if they dedicate themselves to the sport at the highest level. The 2026 World Cup is a massive chance for women's basketball to keep this momentum going. If Team USA wins with Clark, Reese, and Bookers in key roles, the sport's visibility and marketability will hit a whole new level. The tournament could pull in record-breaking viewership, leading to more sponsorship deals. The whole story around these players and their worldwide influence will grow even larger. As we look toward the qualifying games in March, the basketball world will be eagerly waiting to see who makes the cut and how they play. Will Clark be a starter? Will Reese get significant playing time? Will Bickers have a major role? How will they perform when they're finally on the international stage? These are the questions that will drive huge ratings if the games are broadcast and promoted the right way. The simple truth is that if a major network like NBC decides to air these qualifiers and the World Cup, and if Clark is a featured player, the ratings could send shockwaves through the entire sports industry. Women's basketball has shown that it can attract huge audiences when it's marketed correctly. A World Cup with some of the most skilled and marketable athletes on the planet could easily compete with other major sports for viewership. This viral training video is a real turning point. It's the moment when casual fans and die-hard enthusiasts both realize that women's basketball at its highest level is something truly special. The talent, the athleticism, the skill, the competition, it's all there, and it's even better than what many people thought. These aren't just athletes playing a game, these are elite professionals performing at a championship caliber. That training camp at Duke could change women's basketball for good. Seeing Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bickers training together officially is only the start. The 2026 World Cup qualifiers are right around the corner in March, and if these three make the team, the audience will be enormous. This is a glimpse into the future of women's basketball. What are your predictions?